There's something special about a wish until it doesn't come true. Every birthday, I would close my eyes, blow out my candles, and wish that I could see my dad. When wishing did not work, I prayed and hoped my want and my passion would get God's attention. My faith stayed strong as the years passed, but my emotions knew better. When I was 12, I cried almost every night because I felt like something was missing in my life. I had feelings of loneliness, emptiness, and confusion, but I never attributed those emotions to the absence of my father. Then, one day, I came across an article explaining the effects an absent father can have on young black girls, and suddenly it all made sense. But the future they described for girls like me was not the future I had in mind for myself. The article said I would be less educated, more likely to get pregnant at a young age, and that I would be living in poverty for the rest of my life. At the time, I was a Rainier Scholar. I had just earned admission to a private school, and I believed a world of opportunity was waiting for me. I had close friends and a loving family who supported me. And no one had ever told me that I was disadvantaged, and I never thought that I was not supposed to be successful.
It's been me and Zoe since the day she was born. I've always wanted the very best for her. When I was growing up, my parents told me that I could be and do anything that I wanted. I just had to put my mind to it. I have raised Zoe that same way. My parents also instilled in me that education would be the key to my success. Despite being a good student, my hopes and dreams for myself were not enough. There were college barriers that were overwhelming, and my inability to complete what I knew in my heart I was capable of was demoralizing. It changed my life. I first heard about Rainier Scholars from another parent when Zoe was 9. I admired her vision. She had 2 children who were younger than Zoe, and I wonder how she could be thinking so far in advance. I was living day to day and doing the best I could. About a year later, I heard about Rainier Scholars again and decided it was time to give them a call. I still remember that first family information meeting Zoe and I attended. I took away 2 things: a magnet that said, "It's not about the talent, it's about the work." And the words of Bob Hurlbut, the Rainier Scholars founder, telling a school cafeteria full of hopeful parents, "You have no idea of the opportunities that will present themselves if your child is accepted into Rainier Scholars." Both statements proved to be true. I had no idea of the intense work ahead of us or of the truly amazing opportunities that awaited.
I've always loved learning and am naturally curious. I ask lots of questions and I enjoy being challenged, but I can also be very hard on myself. My mom knew Rainier Scholars would be challenging and rewarding, but she did not want it to increase my worries or add anxiety. For me, I just wanted to be around other kids who loved school like me. When that envelope from Rainier Scholars came in the mail, I knew it was something very special. I knew that it would affect my future. My mom has always told me, "Zoe, a degree gives you options, and having choices in life makes all the difference." And I knew that Rainier Scholars was all about getting to college and making that happen.
When Zoe was accepted into Rainier Scholars, we were both so excited. And then the reality of the 14-month academic enrichment program hit us both, full force. Sitting with Zoe on summer nights as she made her way through 3-4 hours of homework, I often wondered if it was all too much. One day, when I came home from work, I walked in the house, and Zoe was sitting on the living room floor, books and papers spread all around her. She looked up at me and had these huge crocodile tears just streaming down her face. In that moment, I felt everything that she was going through, and it hurt my heart. I got down on the floor with her and just held her. That night, for the first time, I seriously considered taking her out of the program. But the very next morning, when I got up at 6 a.m., Zoe was already out of bed and working. She was only 11 years old, and I knew again that she could do this and that she wanted to do this. After the academic phase, Zoe was accepted to the Bush School, and I will never forget how excited she was to start another journey that she had worked so hard for. You know, I don't trust my daughter with just anyone, but I trusted Rainier Scholars with my Zoe. I knew that they always had her best interest at heart. I knew they would not hurt her or make her feel less than the wonderful child she was. Rainier Scholars became part of my village, encouraging my daughter to be her best self.
My mom has always been the most powerful influence in my life, but being a part of the Rainier Scholars community has added to my strength and resilience. My confidence has grown, as well as my willingness to take risks and step outside of my comfort zone. I often think back to that article I read that described my future as a young Black girl with an absent father. I will never become a statistic. I have focused my energy on intentionally pushing past the assumptions made about my life. The gift that came from that article was a spark of empowerment. It rekindled my ambition to be great, and I discovered the power of defiance. That power has brought me a long way. It has driven me to never let an opportunity go, no matter how daunting. In 8th grade, I went on a backpacking trip to southern Utah despite never having been in the wilderness. During my freshman year, I spent 2 nights on Mount Rainier snow camping and utilizing my newfound cross-country ski skills. And as an 11th grader, Rainier Scholars presented a series of study abroad opportunities, and both fear and hope settled into my heart. I applied and was accepted into the High Mountain Institute and spent 5 months away from home. It was a life-changing experience.
And now, Zoe and my conversations have turned to college. Every day, I see my hope and my heart in my daughter. This past year, another letter arrived in the mail, a letter of congratulations for an early decision acceptance to Smith College, and I could not be more proud of Zoe. It's been helpful that she has traveled far from home and has had experiences learning to be independent. It's been good practice for the time when we will have to say so long on Smith College campus. We try not to think about it too much, or at least I do. I start crying, as you can see.
I always hear her voice in my head reminding me, having a college degree means you have options. My mom knows what it means to have her choices limited by her education, and she wants something different for me. Sometimes she teases me and tells me I'll always be her baby, but you have to understand that my mommy, she's my girl. She's not just my mom, she's my best friend. Oh. This is kind of awkward.
Do you want me to go? Okay.
Just go.
Do you want me to finish yours?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Zoe's. We talk all the time. I tell her everything. We don't always see eye to eye, but we want the same things. And even though I can act independent, it scares me to be far away from her. She is my home. With this college acceptance, Rainier Scholars has once again secured the access and opportunity for Zoe's ambition and hard work. I am grateful that Zoe has been given so many opportunities that align with who she believes she is and what she is capable of accomplishing. Rainier Scholars prepares students like Zoe to become the leaders they are destined to be. There are really no words to describe what Rainier Scholars has meant to me and Zoe. They are dedicated to the success of our children. As the parent of this Rainier Scholar, I stand before you knowing that it does take a village, and I thank each and every one of you for being a part of our tribe.